Okay, you've now got a fully working code with the lion going around and eating the cake. Click the green flag and move the lion around using the commands. When he gets to the cake, he says yummy, eats the cake. Brilliant. The score increases by 1. Now is your chance to use Scratch's editing function to really go to town on this. What can you do? Now, there's lots of different options. On the most basic level possible, you could go cosmetic. Click in the backdrops, start thinking about adding a backdrop to this, making it pretty, putting some sort of Serengeti scene in there, some savannah background, or even a party. You could have the background change each time the cake gets eaten. Think how you'd code that one in. You'd have to code that into the lion or the cake. You could have it if touching cake. Then there's in the looks, there is switch backdrop is an option. That would work nicely. Slide it in there if they have the in touching cakes if then loop, or create a new if then loop. You could change the animal's appearance. You could change the cake's appearance. You could just change them normally as costumes, or you could actually have them so they change costumes each time they do something. You could set the cake to be moving around. Start thinking about the random movement functions. You could have go to random position. Sorry, that's not in the right place. That's for the line. You could have it for the cake, and you could just put that inside a forever loop. So the cake is always spinning around moving. That would make it harder. You can adjust the size of the line. So let's make the line a bit smaller. That might make things harder. Let's drop them down to size 50. You can make the cake smaller. You could do anything you like that way. You could have the cake get smaller each time it gets bitten, and the lion gets bigger each time it bites the cake. Lots of options there. Other things you can do as well, you could add sound, you could add music, you could even have a backdrop music. So not just have the lion roaring, you could even look in the sounds, and you could have as a separate stack, or even just part of your stack, you could include start sound, and you could go into the sound section and pick some music and put together a theme tune for the game in the background. Lots and lots of different possibilities. Using the control effects, you could even make the pitch of the music change each time the cake gets eaten. All you'd have to do for that one is you'd put that in the if touching cake loop. Finally, as another option, one thing you could do is you could look at the variables, and you could create another variable called timer that starts at 100 and counts down. So to do something like that, we could say make variable, we could call it timer, and this timer would appear there, and then we could have it that right at the top we say set timer to 100, and we put that in the top there. So then when the game begins, the timer is at 100. We could then set that timer counting down. When it reaches 0, we could have a game over, an if-then loop to try out. Lots and lots of possibilities. Keep the core functionality of the program and the code the same, but there are so many different things you could do to it. Have fun exploring, have fun trying things out. Remember, if it breaks or doesn't work, that's absolutely fine. Just undo and go again. Coding is about trying things out and exploring. Have lots and lots of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing the most exciting ideas you come up with. On you go.